Hello everyone, this is Red Dude. Have you ever walk out during sex? Why? NSFW. I realized I'd left my brother who was visiting me from another city back at the club. Had to go find him. Literally bros before hoes. During a blowjob, a girl vomited on me heavily. The smell caused me to vomit on her as she was right beneath me. Once, during the act, I had a woman take the condom off of me, she then proceeded to put her hand inside it, stretch her fingers as much as she could, and then attempted to touch my face with it. I was just so shocked and stunned by the whole situation that I apologized and then left. Yes, I was hammered drunk and wanted pancakes. My husband whispered it's free real estate in my ear while he came, and I just couldn't deal with him for the next 20 minutes. It's not quite on the same level, but my dude and I started making Minecraft villager interrogative grunts, Hunter, at each other and dissolving into giggles after he got me addicted to the game. Backfired on us when I made the mistake of grunting at him when we were getting it on, right as we got his pants pulled down. It took about 3 days before we got to finish because one or the other of us would start laughing again anytime we tried to rekindle the mood. FTR, I do not recommend Minecraft edging, some things are just better left to the professionals. I said and boom goes the dynamite one time. My ex wasn't having it and got quite mad at me. I looked over and saw his tidy whities with a massive skid mark in them and some yellowish stain on the front half. I got the ick and went home, then woke up with a UTI the next day. I was mid-stroke, had a buddy call me. He was going through a real rough time, I was worried this was his reaching out moment. I made an excuse about a cramp answer in the bathroom and he proceeded to open up to me, saying he just needed to be with someone. I said I had a family emergency and headed his way. To this day we still laugh about it. Him and I, the girl never talked to me again. My boyfriend and I were having sex and I was pretty tipsy. I stopped him mid-thrust and said take me to McDonald's at 2 a.m. And the man did it. He's my husband now. Didn't walk out but definitely stopped mid-thrust. I was getting yelled at for messing up the sheets on the bed she just made. Bro, I hate this. If I'm having sex I don't care if we break the entire house, we will deal with that when we're done and I have post-nut clarity. We changed positions and he went to put it back in and I noticed immediately that he had removed the condom. I fucking flipped out and left. I've never had a single regret about it. The condom started to slip so I pulled out to fix it. She turned around and it was at that moment I realized she was ugly crying. She had just gotten out of a long-term relationship so I knew what was up. We stopped and went on about our day. My brain didn't see the word crying. I was laughing for a minute. She turned around and it was at that moment I realized she was ugly. When the alcohol starts to wear off. This actually happened to me. Hooked up with a girl and she came fast. Like within a minute. Then immediately started crying after that. Just got out of a 9-year relationship. Felt like shit for hooking up and enjoying it. She bit my ear so hard it started bleeding and wouldn't let go. I was done after that. Similar situation though no blood, also it was at my place. She bit me, I stopped and explained I'm not into biting. Bit me again. Asked her politely to leave. Still have dents on the hood of my car from where she slammed the remainder of her six-pack. Had a guy bite my boob once during sex and not in the fun sexy way. That fucking hurt. Told him not to do it again. Few minutes later he did it again and wasn't letting go. Need him to get him to let go and left. What the fuck is wrong with people? How'd he react? He got mad at me for kneeing him and then yelling about how he knows what women like and I was fucking stupid. I just told him to fuck off and blocked him on everything after that. We had actually been out a few times and that was the second time having sex. Up until then he had seemed normal. I dipped tobacco for the first time before going to my GF's house. Stomach was feeling weird but I thought I could power through it. About 3 minutes into the deed I literally push her off of the bed, run to the bathroom and start projectile vomiting into the toilet. Her mom walked in to check on me a couple minutes later and to her shock, I was butt-ass naked with my head in the toilet. I left immediately to my friend's house down the road. Probably the most embarrassing night of my life. In the heat of moments started having sex with my ex. Then I remembered why I broke up with her in the first place and I just walked away. It was hard but was worth it. I did the same, but I was still madly in love with her and she was the one who dumped me. She was also the one who initiated the sex by taking my hand and shoving it down inside her pants. Immediately after the sex she said just so you know, this means nothing and nothing's changed. Problem was, we still lived in our shared apartment but in separate rooms. It was 6 months of hell. Took me 10 years to get over her and I still dream of us together. I've been single for 22 years now. Not had a relationship since. Met her a few months back for coffee. She has 2 kids and moved back to Sweden BC. Her boyfriend cheated on her with multiple women and beat her, sad to say. She was still gorgeous. Once. She raised her dress and the smell smh nah I moonwalked my ass out of there. I told him a condom was a must. He put it on and we got to having fun. Halfway through kept saying let me take it off. Why don't you want to go raw? Are you dirty? You have something? I was on top, so I got off, got dressed, grabbed my things and left. Blocked everywhere I could. He was pissed that I was leaving without making him finish. I don't know if this counts as walking out during sex, but when I was a teenager in a student exchange program, a close friend of mine, she is from Sweden, and I went for a bicycle ride and a swim at the lake. It was a ride we had done in the past, just 45 minutes from our school. We discovered it once in summer and made it our thing. We packed 2 sandwiches, something to drink, a blanket and a towel. Rode there, sat and spoke about anything and rode back. And yes, we used to swim naked because we had the lake for ourselves, and why not? She was very quick getting in and out of the water. She would immediately wrap herself in her blanket whilst I waited in the water. She would dry up and then it was my turn. That particular day, it was cold, freaking cold, but we went either way. I honestly don't know why we did such a stupid thing, but we got out of school, hopped on our bicycles and off we went to the lake. We got there, stripped out and jumped in the water. It was instant regret. It was late October in Canada. Both got out of the water shivering. She pulled out the blanket and wrapped both of us in it. I can't say how we started, but after a few minutes we were making out in that blanket and about to do the deed. When it was about to get in, she asked if we had a condom. I did not. So I got out of the blanket and jumped back in that stupidly cold water to cool down. She laughed it off, I laughed it off, then I took about a week off school as I got massively sick. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, consider checking out my other content.